So in life's potluck buffet timekeeping, it's yesterday, today, and tomorrow day. Find out why on this episode of Life's Potluck Buffet. I'm John Paulus. Thanks for joining me. I'm so glad you tuned in today. Today's episode is about Worksheet 24, which is the worksheet that goes with Card 24, Treat Tomorrow as Today. Let's begin with the idea of Tomorrow Day. I think the best definition of Tomorrow Day is from Urban Dictionary, a user named Stronz. It's Stronz. So Stronz, if you're out there listening to this, let me know how you pronounce that. Anyway, Tomorrow Day is tough to explain, but I think that the best way to think of it is the way to talk about the same day as if it were tomorrow. So, in other words, when it's 3 a.m., and you'll see in Stronz's example, it's 3 a.m., and you're going to go to sleep, when you wake up, is it the next day? Is it tomorrow? Or is it still today? Because of the power of our sleep cycles on our perception of how days are broken up, it's that feeling that when I wake up, it's going to be quote unquote tomorrow, a new day. But it already is in terms of our clock today. You see what I'm saying? So, in a sense, Tomorrow Day is exactly treating today as tomorrow because of our sleep schedule. So I think it really resonates with the idea on Worksheet 24 and Card 24. But here's the quote from Stronz that will bring it home. So imagine it's late at night, morning. Oh, that's the other thing. Is it night or morning, right? We say it's 3 a.m. in the morning. We don't say it's 3 a.m. at night. So we recognize that it's tomorrow. It is tomorrow morning. But at the same time, it is a continuation of last night. When we wake up, it's today. But when we're talking about it at 3 a.m., it's tomorrow day. I think that best explains it. So Stronz, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, on January 20th, 2008, gave an example on Urban Dictionary of a use of Tomorrow Day. And Stronz says, quote, "Oh, it's already 3 a.m. I'm going to sleep, and we'll talk to you tomorrow day." I like that. I think for me that is a definitive usage of this term Tomorrow Day. So I wanted to think about in Life's Potluck Buffet what Tomorrow Day would be. And I think it's totally in line with the concept that's on Card 24 and also on Worksheet 24. Taking something from the future that you're planning on doing in the future and saying, okay, why not try doing that today? So it's kind of less about procrastination than it is about more reorganization of schedule, because there are things that you might have to do just because of timing on another day, and you really want to get it done, but you can't help but say, well, this isn't me procrastinating. There are factors involved here that I can't do this or shouldn't do this until Thursday, right? And in that case, put it on your calendar. And that's the point of the exercise here, is to treat every day as tomorrow day. To say, let me consider if tomorrow's activities were just, in reality, today's activities. And how would that work? So that's the idea of Tomorrow Day. And that's the idea of our worksheet here. So I looked on YouTube for some videos to think about, and I'm always looking for interesting things. The treat today is tomorrow. I end up with a lot of video about medical treatments because of the word treat. And so not that helpful, although I learned a lot about pulmonary conditions for some reason. I think for some reason the lungs and today and tomorrow seem to be intricately connected. Not sure why. If you're a pulmonary physician, let me know if you often find that in conferences or in conversations or in articles about lung treatment that the idea of putting off till tomorrow something you can do today comes up a lot. I found a lot this time about today is yesterday's tomorrow. Several songs. The one with the most views was a Michael Bublé song from several years ago called Today is Yesterday's Tomorrow. And when I was listening to it, I said, you know what? This sounds a lot like Meghan Trainor's All About the Bass. You know, the arrangement was the same and the sound was the same. And I was like, I wonder if whoever did the music for Meghan Trainor's All About the Bass, I don't know who produced that, but whoever produced that music, whether it was Meghan Trainor or somebody else, that same producer produced this Today is Yesterday's Tomorrow. I'm sure of it. And in the suggested videos, I saw that from the same album, seemingly. There was another Michael Bublé song featuring Meghan Trainor called Someday. And I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe there is a Meghan Trainor connection here. So if anybody's listening out there that knows a lot about Michael Bublé and Meghan Trainor and knows about who wrote those songs, All About the Bass and Today is Yesterday's Tomorrow, who produced the music for that, I would love to know, because I would guess that it is the same person. You know, I don't think I'm crazy here. I was about to start doing Columbo voice again, so I'm gonna move on from that. Okay. Oh, you know another song about tomorrow is today. That's Billy Joel from 1970. That song is that really hits you. I gotta say, listening to that one, I was like, whoa, this feels like it's heavy. I feel like that Billy Joel song is heavy. The music is great, I think, but it's very evocative, heavy stuff. So if you're in the mood to hear a kind of heavy song with excellent music, that Billy Joel song from 1970, Tomorrow's Today, is one to listen to. If you're in the mood where you're like, I kind of need to hear upbeat things, then I would steer clear of Billy Joel's Tomorrow is Today. Speaking of life pro tips, I thought I was going to really be rocking the house with a discovery that I thought I made about using the rubber end of a stylus pen to write on the worksheets on a PDF. You know these pens? You know, it's a pen and it's like a normal pen, and then at the end it has like this rubber stylus tip where you could use it on your touchscreen devices. Well, I tried that. I tried to fill in, let's go to worksheet 24. And you'll see I tried to fill in worksheet 24 with the rubber tipped stylus pen, and what I discovered is that it doesn't work. Here, I'm going to show you. Let me use the rubber tipped stylus pen. It just doesn't really work for me. I thought it was going to be my handwriting was going to be so nice and so neat, and it was going to look really good because I'm using a pen instead of my finger, which I normally do on the kind of touchpad thing here. But I thought this was going to be like the Life Pro tip to end all Life Pro tips about writing on these worksheets. I thought, okay, well, just use the end of a rubber stylus pen to fill in the worksheets. But when you do that, it's real. Look at the word captioning here. Okay, that doesn't work. For me, maybe for you. Okay, give it a shot. And if it works for you, let me use my finger. All right, see how that's like a lot neater than when I use it's still a little wacky, still a little wild, but it's a lot neater and better than when I used the stylus tip, which I thought was not going to be the case. I thought I really was going to, it was going to be awesome. Anyway. So let me read to you the worksheet. Think of something you have been putting off for another day and write it in the tomorrow box. Then draw an X through the tomorrow box and put the to-do in the today box. And then move the to-do to today on your real calendar and discuss why you were putting it off. So here, I'm talking about closed captioning. You know, for the last few episodes, I've been talking a lot about closed captioning, and that's because I'm waiting for the day when the closed captioning will spell my name correctly, Paulas, Paulus. And one day, I think that day will come. Tomorrow, that day will come one day tomorrow. That's what I keep thinking. However, I need to actually fix the actual closed captioning, as in manually put in the correct spellings of various things that did not get caught by the auto capture. So this was a perfect exercise for treat today as tomorrow, because it's Saturday and I thought, okay, I will just do, I just will do this sometime next week, and, we won't worry about it, because it's like repetitive, tedious. There are, 50 some odd videos that need to have the closed captioning fixed, and I've done some of them, but there was still a bunch left. So this morning, I gave myself a little time limit. I said, let's, in this time frame, the ones that had 0 closed captioning on them, I said, I am going to fix the auto-generated closed captioning on all of these as quickly as I can, and then I'm going to be done. And I'm not going to obsess over, like, is every, does it say music playing or music, or, I'm not going to obsess. I'm just going to get it to where it's, like, correct and completely usable. So I did that, and that was a really good example of something that I was putting off, and I had said, next week I'll do it. And I, to be fair to myself, I did have a plan to do it next week. But I said, you know what? Since we're doing this worksheet today, why don't I take something from my calendar next week and put it on this morning's calendar and just do that? And voila. So, find something that you have on your calendar next week. Put it on today's calendar whenever you're listening to this, and see how that feels. All right, give it a shot. I think you'll really find that your sense of accomplishment will increase 100% by just doing that small little thing. Once again, a little thing that makes a big difference. And that's what Life's Potluck Buffet is all about in the end. So I hope you have a wonderful today, and I'll see you next time. If you like this video, don't forget to thumbs it up. And if you have not subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you have subscribed and you have been liking videos, thank you so much. I so greatly appreciate it, and I greatly appreciate you tuning in. It has been a real privilege to be able to talk to you about Life's Potluck Buffet, and I'll see you tomorrow.